We're going to now look at finding areas of triangles. We know one formula for area of triangle, and that's the area is equal to 1/2 the base times the height. But the problem is we're not always going to be given the base and the height for these problems you're going to see in this section. Okay, the first idea is if you have a triangle that's oriented as I have it written below, in other words, the angles are all capital letters, and then the sides corresponding or opposite of those angles are small letters, then the area can be found by one of these three formulas if you're given certain things. Now, first of all, they use the capital letter K to represent the area of a triangle in this section. Okay, the first formula, I wanted to point out how it's laid out, and then the other two formulas are very similar. You still have the 1/2 at the front. You have two sides multiplied together by the sine of the angle not connected to those two sides. In other words, A and B, angle C, doesn't have anything to do with the A and the B. Or the next formula down, you could do 1/2 B times C times the sine of the angle that's not with those sides, and so forth down to the last one. It could be 1/2 A times C times the sine of angle B. Let's see how this formula works. For this particular problem, it says find the area of the triangle if B is equal to 8, C is equal to 5, and A is equal to 40 degrees. You see we have the exact information that we need. We have two sides, and we have an angle that's not connected with one of those sides. Okay, now on here, we want to choose the right formula. You see the right formula needs to contain the product of B and C on the right-hand side. So we're going to use our middle formula. Okay, so what we'll say is K equals 1/2 times B, C times sine of A is the formula we want to use. Okay, so we'll have 1/2 times 8 times 5 times the sine of 40 degrees. And we simply just type that in our calculator and see what we get. In this case, you're going to get 12.85575.219. And we weren't given any units here. If we were given inches, we know that area should be square. So I'll just say here units squared so that we know we're dealing with an area. Okay, so this formula is very, very straightforward. When you want to use these kind of formulas is when you're given two sides and the angle that's not opposite of one of those sides. I now want to look at a second idea. Sometimes you can be given three sides of a triangle and no angle. In that case, the area can be found by using this formula. K equals the square root of S times S minus A times S minus B times S minus C, where S stands for 1/2 of the sum of all the sides, A plus B plus C. This kind of a thing is always going to be a two-step process because you're going to have to find S before you find anything else. So in this example we see it says find the area of the triangle if A is 2, B is 4, and C is 4. Okay, we're given three sides, and so we know to use this other formula, okay, as opposed to the first formula. You only want to use the first formula if you're given two sides and an angle not opposite one of those sides. This one we can use when we're given three sides. Okay, first thing you want to do is you want to find the value of S. S is always 1/2 of the sum of the three sides. So 1/2 of 2 plus 4 plus 4. Okay, so that's 1/2. 2 plus 4 is 6. 6 plus 4 is 10. So that's 1/2 of 10, which is 5. Okay, second of all, we can now go find the area. K equals the square root of S minus the first side, times S minus the second side, times S minus the third side. Okay, S we found out to be 5, and then we do 5 minus the first side. The first side was 2, and then we do 5 minus the second side was 4, and then we do 5 minus the third side was also 4. Okay, I'll go ahead and I'll simplify this out a little bit before I type it in the calculator. I have 5 times 5 minus 2 is 3 times 4 minus 1, I'm sorry, 5 minus 4 and 5 minus 4 are both 1. And so here we have the square root of 15. If you want an exact answer, there's your exact answer. So this would be units squared. Or if we need an approximation, we can type this in our calculator and we're going to get 3.872983346 square units. So finding areas of a triangle, you have two different formulas that you can use based on the information that they originally give you in the problem. This concludes the lesson on finding the area of a triangle.